All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. How is everybody today? I almost said this morning. How is everybody this afternoon? I feel like I've missed you all after we didn't have a luncheon last week because of the other announcement that we had. So it's good to see everybody. Feels a little better inside, doesn't it? Definitely. We're probably lucky we haven't had any snow yet, although that's obviously on the way. But hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here at our weekly Hardrocker Coaches Luncheon. We appreciate your attendance. We appreciate your support. I'd like to say thank you to Pancheros. They provided the food today, so if we give a little round of applause to Pancheros, that's nice. Somebody celebrated his 90th birthday this past week. Who would that be? Mr. Smiling over here. Don, could you just wave to everybody? Don Range, 90. Congratulations, you're my hero. I hope you know that. We've got a lot of good things ahead in Hardrocker Athletics this week. If you might not know this, but men's golf played yesterday and they are finishing up today at the RMAC Preview out in Durango, Colorado. Volleyball tonight has BH State here in town at 7 o'clock here in the King Center. I hope everybody can make it out to that match tonight. And then they are on the road this Friday at Westminster. Cross country does not have any meets this week, but they are preparing for next week at RMAC Championships. Now, the RMAC Cross Country Championships are going to be at Chadron State, and football is at Chadron State the same day. So cross country will be men at 10 o'clock, women at 10:45, and then the football game is at noon. So I'll tell you what, that's a good package deal. And the Hardrock Club will be providing some donuts and coffee and hot chocolate for folks who can get out there to cross country. Men's soccer has 2 home matches this weekend. Friday here against Colorado Mesa at Sioux Park. That's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then Sunday versus Westminster, also at Sioux Park at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then, as we all know, football has a game this Saturday at home against Colorado Mines, the second best mines in the country. That starts at 1 o'clock. That'll be Cancer Awareness Day. So please get out to our games, our matches this week if you get a chance. The first person we're going to call up is our cross-country head coach, Steve Johnson. Steve, after you.
All right, well, thanks, Ken. So we took a little bit of a road trip, went down to Hays, Kansas this last week. We've been down there pretty much the last few years now, and they do a really good job putting on their meet. It's a converted farm, pasture land that they took. Typically, when we go down there, we expect it to be a really fast course because this time of year, Kansas, quite honestly, is usually pretty dry. Then we got word on Wednesday of last week that they'd had almost 2 inches of rain the night before, and that they were expecting rain on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we got out to the course and we got some good news that they hadn't had rain on Wednesday night. So we got out there, started to head down. Then we're about halfway down and I get word that they'd had rain on Thursday night. Don't bring your bus in. Okay, we can deal with that. So bus dropped us off and we went and did our thing. A little bit wet in places. We go out to dinner that night. We see there's a little rainstorm that comes through. Not too bad, only lasts for about 20 minutes. Really just kind of gets the ground wet. And we get back to the hotel. And the satellite goes out on the TVs. The storm is loud enough that even on the first floor you're hearing it sound like it's just drumming on your head. And this goes on for about 2 hours. So obviously we went into it with an expectation that the course was going to be wet. And I think Brad's got some pictures up here to give you a little bit of an idea. That was the first 10 meters of the course right there. And it only got worse in places. Overall, the course actually handled the water pretty well, as you can see. But where there was water, in some places it was up to about 4 to 6 inches deep of standing water. Some of the stretches were upwards of 100 to 200 meters long of water, so it did have some impact on the course. Normally, like I said, we expect this course to run pretty fast. And this course on the women's side, men's side, I didn't have a great comparison, but the women's side, we figured that it ran about a minute and a half slower than normal. But we went in and we knew what our plan had to be. We had to be aggressive. We had to go out and attack the course. And we had to try to get ourselves up in the field early. There you can get a real good picture. They actually ran through this on their way out through the start and then came back through it in the finish. So if you can imagine hitting that when you've got about 250 meters left in your race and you've already run 3 miles for the ladies, 5 miles, almost 5 miles for the guys, that's the last thing you want to see at that point. But what we were able to do despite that was really pretty impressive. We did a really good job being aggressive in the course. And I'll give you an idea here on the women's side of how things have changed for us in the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago we were out at Griac. And at Griac, we lost to the University of Sioux Falls by 156 points. They still got us this last time, unfortunately, but it was 42 points. Nebraska Conniff beat us by 113 points. We beat them by 47. One of our conference rivals, Colorado Christian, beat us by 160 points. Unfortunately, I can't tell you we beat them, but the difference this time was 3. One of Pittsburgh State was one of the top teams in the field. They actually moved into the top 5 in the national rankings after their performance at Griac, which was quite dominant. Our top runner that day was Adeline Stratmeyer. Addie was almost a minute and a half behind their top 3. Their top 3 came in together that day. She was about 25 seconds behind this time. That put her 22nd in the field. That put her as one of the top finishers in our conference. I believe that put her 9th or 10th in the conference that day. And it didn't stop there. Erica Westerman came in 37th overall for us, just 20 seconds behind Addie. Then we had Riley Sutton and Carrie Radke that were our 4-5, and Kayla Gagan wound up being our number 5 runner. And in case you've ever wondered the importance of a number 5 runner for you, if we had taken the Colorado Christian results and scored us in a dual meet, if we had raced them head to head, we would have been tied perfectly through the 4th runner, and we would have actually beat them on the number 5. So you can see the difference even that just having other teams in the field can make on your score. When we look at the men's side, the men ran considerably better than they did at Griac. We had our 1 through 4 runners. Now obviously we need to get our 5th runner to catch up a little bit, but our 1 through 4, our pack time was 30 seconds on the nose. What that did for us was that allowed us to beat one of the teams that beat us at Griac, Missouri Western. Missouri Western beat us by 66 points. We beat them by 46 points on Saturday, so a turn of over 100 points. It took us from being 550 points behind Nebraska Conniff at Griac to just 250 points. So a pretty significant swing there as well. But the one to me that really stood out and really pushed with our guys, even though they still beat us, was Colorado Mesa. Colorado Mesa has been a top 8 team in the conference pretty much every year that we've been a part of the conference. At GRIAC, they beat us by 561 points. They beat us by 113. So we're seeing pretty significant progress from our runners. And what we need right now, we actually left the guy that would be our normal number 5 at home. He was needed a little bit more time to recover. GRIAC beat him up a little bit. And so we left him at home. So that actually hurt us quite a bit in that team scoring. And so we believe we can make that quite a bit closer as we go forward. What was really interesting to me, and I didn't even catch it until this morning, was we had 20 teams in the women's field this year. Last year there were 15 teams. So normally in a bigger field you'd think that there's more points, right? We actually beat our team score from last year by 3 points. So the women are definitely moving in the right direction. Our men's team was dead last at this meet last year in the same field. We were 13th. So we're seeing our teams move up at just the right time in the season right now. And so that really has us pretty excited as we get ready for the conference meet here in 2 weeks. The conference meet, as you know, is a tough challenge for us, but it's not the final challenge. The final challenge for us is going to be the region meet down in Texas 2 weeks after that. And what we were able to do this weekend, we only saw a handful of teams from our region. There's 30-some teams in our region, and we got to beat 3 of them on the women's side. We got to beat 2 of them on the men's side this weekend. So that gave us a lot of confidence as we get ready. And as I said, we were close. You know, the men are within 100 points and almost 100 points in Mason. It's huge. 100 points can be made up in a region field, especially when you figure the added distance of the 10K. That 3 points against Colorado Christian, every single one of our women finished surrounded by a pack of other runners. All we have to do, one person could have picked up those 3 points, and that takes care of it. So we are right on the verge of something really, really exciting with this group of women, and we're hoping we can keep it going over the next couple of weeks. Questions? All right, thank you.
Coach, thank you. Good update. Women's volleyball. Coach Jenni Bolduc. Are you ready?
Hi. So we went down to Denver this weekend, and it was really nice to take a road trip that was only 7 hours. Nice change for us to get off and feel like we were doing all right. So we played Johnson & Wales on Friday morning and beat them in 3. We lost to Regis, who's the number 12 team in the country right now, in 3. Played them pretty tough in the first set, and then we dropped to Shadron on Saturday in 4. We went into the weekend making some pretty significant lineup changes. Emily Newton, who's been a really solid middle for us, moved to the outside, so this is her on the left pin. So this side of the court in the front row, number 24. Emily's our senior. She's our only true senior since Mac is a redshirt senior. She's just one of the steadiest players that I've been around. Super calm, very composed all the time. She's never played outside hitter before, but we needed to get her set the ball more often. And right now we're just not ball handling well enough to set our middles as often as we'd like to. So just for an example, she got set the ball 47 times in Regis and Shadron, where the previous weekend she only got 28. And we just need our athletes that are going to put the ball in a good spot more often to get it, and moving her to the outside definitely accomplished that for us. We also figured out Emily can serve receive pretty well, which is not very normal for a middle. And we threw in the passing a few times when we were struggling this weekend, and she passed a 2-0, which is our second best passer after Mac for the whole weekend. Yeah, just keeping her, we kept her on 6 rotations several times, and just having a little bit more experience, a little bit more maturity, a little more calming presence on the court, got rid of some of the hectic, crazy things that have been going on earlier in the season. Can we move on to Lily, Brad? No? Okay. That's fine. You can watch me. We can show them a little bit more love here. Oh, we are moved on a little bit. Okay. So moving Emily to the outside opened up some space for a new middle hitter, and this is freshman Lily Lundquist. She's a 6'1" true freshman from Chaska, Minnesota, and studying chemical engineering. And considering she might be the nicest human being I've ever met in my entire life, she's a really good aggressive volleyball player. So she's sort of blocking in the middle on the other side. And she just has really good court awareness. She gets her hands on a lot of swings. And especially for a middle, stays really, or especially for a freshman, stays really composed on the court. So she's getting 1.31 blocks per set, and she's only played in 16 sets. So it's a little skewed. She is leading our team in blocks per set, but she hasn't played in nearly as many sets as the rest of the middle blockers have. But she is going to be a really significant blocker for us in the future. So I'm glad that this move with Emily has allowed us, she's 15 in the middle, sorry, allowed us to give her some court time as a freshman. And she's also hitting 250 on the season, so she puts the ball in play quite a bit. She doesn't have quite the power yet, but I've seen her thump the ball in practice several times, so I'm waiting to see that come out in the match as well. The other person that just puts on the court, we don't have video for her, but you can see her 23 on the right side is Rayleigh Peterson that played a little bit over Justine this last weekend. We jump tested them last week. She's touching 98.5, which is the highest on our team. And if you're going to be the most athletic blocker we have, you probably need to be on the court a little more often. She's a freshman as well. She's got some work to do on some positioning stuff, but she's certainly super athletic. All right, the last person I want to talk about is Tana Dalberg. She's a freshman. She also runs track, or will run track for Jared. She's playing DS. She came in as a setter on the right side, and she's back there in right back, number 18. So on the far side now. We talk a lot about defense, about just putting herself in a good position to get hit by the ball. And Tana does this really well, and she does get blown up a little bit sometimes, but because she just puts herself in a spot to get hit, she doesn't try to use too much finesse or try to be perfect. She just makes sure that the ball gets up and that we can live to play another day. Against Regis, she dug for 80%, which means 8 out of 10 balls that went anywhere close to her zone, she put back in play for us so that we could try and get another shot on offense. And again, a player who's not really playing in the position that she was recruited to, but is really doing a good job and filling a role and just working hard for us out there. As we mentioned, we've got Black Hill State tonight. They are 6-11 right now. They're on a 5-match losing streak. So I know they're going to be hungry for a win, and I think that a lot of teams have underestimated us, especially early in matches, and that's why we've been able to take a few first sets off people and hang with people a little bit more in the first set, because they don't expect us to be where we are right now. And I know for sure that our athletes are really excited for this match. They run some different things, what we've seen so far this season. I don't know if they're just getting to the point where they're just throwing whatever they can at people. They run some double quicks, which means that their outside hitter runs a really fast ball and their middle runs a really fast ball, and sometimes those are the only two hitters. And so if they're not passing well, they don't have any sort of outlet. And they do pass well, so we got to serve tough and get them out of system so they can't run the stuff that they want to run. And then finally, I've had a lot of people come up to me or email me or call me and ask me if I'm doing okay. So I don't know if I'm walking around looking like I'm just struggling. I'm tired. I understand that my eyes look like I haven't slept in 3 months because I haven't. But every single day I walk into practice and there's these 19 incredible young women that just want to grind and get better. And they're texting me every day, hey, can I come in 45 minutes early to get extra reps? And like, can I come in and watch film? And can I come in and do these extra things? And hey, you changed my position. Can I come in and do these things with this other setter? And at 2-16, it would be really easy to just roll over and be like, all right, I'm just going to wait it out for the next 5 weeks. And that's just not what anyone is doing in our gym. And I think that they have this investment in the rest of the season and in the program for the future. And I just think that's really cool to see them doing that kind of stuff. And I'm just really proud of them for that and grinding out the next few weeks. And I think we're going to pick up a few teams because of that. Any questions?
Questions for Coach?
Thought that was a question.
Given the big rivalry that Blanco State is as a coach, do you try to talk up the rivalry to get them fired up, or talk down the rivalry to keep their head in the game, or just kind of treat it like a normal?
I definitely just treat it like a normal game. I think it's hard when you haven't lived the rivalry. I mean, I haven't been here, so I don't know exactly what it is. I do drive by the football stadium every day and see their billboard outside of our stadium, which grinds on me a little bit. But I think they're living it and they're talking about it, and they, they're asking, hey, can we do stuff like announce our majors when we announce the starters? And like, they're super into it. So I probably don't talk it up. I think it's really important for us to just do our job, and regardless if who's on the other side of the net, and then we can just play the game the same way all the time and be successful and control the things we can control. We can't control what jersey they're wearing or how we feel about them being up the road. But regardless of that, they're pretty fired up about it.
So what's your plan of attack for them? What's your key thing that you're going to strive for?
Sure. We're going to serve tough and try and get them out of the system so that they can't run this double quick offense that they want to run. And then we've been working with our setters about understanding kind of offensive systems against blocks. So we're going to do some things offensively to try and draw their blockers. Their blockers are a little fighty, so their middles will jump with a setter or jump with another middle, whether we set them or not. So we're going to do some things to try and get their middle blockers in a certain situation so that we can set away from them. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach. So tonight, 7 o'clock, volleyball versus BH. So please be here tonight. And I can understand why they want to market with the billboard out there. It's understandable that they might want to try to pick up some of those kids who didn't make it here. Everybody deserves a second chance, right? So we can be happy for them. So come out tonight, please. The next coach we're going to hear from, men's soccer coach Andrew. Come on up.
Thank you. This past weekend we played two very, very good teams, Regis University and Colorado School of Mines. Even though we played very well in both first halves, we weren't able to get results ultimately in the games. And we're kind of on a streak right now where we started the season with some success, some results, and we haven't seen that recently. So Coach Wood and I were looking through our schedule, and we realized, well, I knew this before, but it was a good reminder. Our first 9 conference games, 6 of those games, we play the top 4 teams in the conference. And we're kind of on that stretch right now where we're playing all ranked teams. In those 3 games that we didn't play those top teams, we have 2 wins and 1 loss, right? So I feel like we're doing our part in the games that we should be. And trying to compete against some of these teams is really, really tough. And first half at Colorado Mines, we went 0-0. And there's a few, I think, like looking back, oh man, I think we could have scored there. Like, oh, we kind of like missed an opportunity. And the fact that we're thinking that against Colorado Mines, they were 21st in the country at the time, it's really, really good for us. Same thing at Regis, like early in the game, like we're the ones putting the pressure on them. And like we had 2 shots in the box against Regis early in the game. It's like, oh man, we put one of those away, like different game, different outcome. So we're encouraged about how we've been playing, the things we've been doing, the guys' reactions to some of this adversity. Just like Coach Jenni just said, it's easy after a few losses to get that mentality, oh, I don't want to keep going. Like we're just gonna kind of have fun, just kind of get through it. And our guys haven't had that mentality at all either. It's been very, very competitive in training. In games, like the guys on the bench are still fired up, and we've had some people in and out of the lineup in terms of starting, in terms of minutes played. Even those guys over on the bench, like you hear them yelling the whole game. Like I need to ask them like quiet down sometimes. Like I want the players to hear Coach Woods and my instructions, not the other players. But the fact that they're that invested has been really encouraging for us. Brad, could you please cue up some of the clips? So this is against Regis at home this weekend. Less than 10 minutes into the game here. Really good opportunity for one of our freshmen. Trent gets the shot off here and just puts it over. We're getting shots from 15 yards, 12 yards away. Like eventually we're going to start scoring those. That's a sustainable chance for us. This is a penalty for them in the first half that our keeper saves, just gets a finger on it to put it off the post. Kyle Daledovich has been great for us all year in goal. There's another chance early in the game. And these are the ones, this falls to Justin Barco's feet, who's scored quite a few goals for us this season on the edge of the box. And those are the kind of chances I know Justin wants to put away, and we're kind of counting on him to put away. So if we can keep getting the ball in those areas, I think we'll see success. This is in the second half. I love the guys' work rate to get back, win the ball, get forward quickly. Nice little combo between those two. And the player who passes that there scored a goal against Mesa last week from about 10 yards further than that. So we kind of want him shooting that one. But still a great combo looking forward. Here late in the game, this is a freshman, Julian Bouchard, shot off the post. And he beat the keeper on that. I mean, that's maybe 2-3 inches away from going off the post and in. This is at Colorado Mines this weekend. We're now in the dark kits. Early in the game here, good service in, really dangerous area, just weren't quite able to get onto it there. See, now Julian was going to play at home there, playing a new spot for him as a freshman. He's been really versatile for us. But good long ball from our keeper, good reactions for our guys getting forward here. And you'll see another freshman here getting onto the ball and having a shot. And as I was Coach Wood and I were putting these clips together today, I realized a lot of here's a freshman on the ball right now. We have 3 freshmen who've been playing quite a bit, and we've never once said, oh, we need to get the younger guys in to develop them. These are guys who they've been good enough to play, and they're getting into good areas. Right? They're making a huge difference for us. This is just after they scored. Within a minute, we're getting forward, trying to create a chance. No quitting us. Here's a good run forward, and you'll see the player, this is actually another freshman to freshman pass here. He can score from here. He doesn't hit this too clean, but that's the kind of range we want Sterling. That's Sterling McKenzie. We want him shooting those. So those are some of our clips from this weekend. Just kind of reaffirming to Coach Wood and myself, like we are getting into good areas. We are creating chances. And we see in training our guys can score from the areas we're getting into right now. And maybe some of it is lack of composure in games. Maybe some of it's knowing in the past these other teams have been better than us, and we don't have that pressure to think that we can go on and win games. And Coach Wood and I believe we can. So this weekend coming up, we play Mesa on Friday. They just lost to UCCS, but they're still really, really good. They're ranked nationally. They were 12 before that loss. I haven't seen the updated rankings yet. But that's a good test for us. Last year in the final game of the season, we tied Mesa 0-0. And although that was an exciting result, I talked to the guys yesterday. In that game against Mesa last year, we were sitting back in our own half the entire time. In terms of you guys being potential spectators, it was not fun to watch. Mesa had, I think, 24 or 26 shots in that game. Maybe we had 2. And that's great that we get a result, but I told our guys that we want to build for something more. And I'm willing to take more risks and potentially lose if we're playing well and if we're getting out, taking some chances, getting some shots up, maybe scoring that goal. Because I want to have a mentality that we're not going to sit in and weather a storm against every good team. I want to try and find a way to get a result in a positive way. So that's something that's tough because the traditional mindset is, oh, we're playing a team that should be superior to us. We're going to sit back and hope to survive, and that's not what we're going to do. So hopefully if you're out this weekend, you see a little bit of excitement from us against Mesa. And they're a team, I've seen them in film so many times now, I always think we can beat them. Like I look at the tactics of the game, I'm like, oh, we can exploit this, we can do this, and we just, from a technical standpoint, haven't been able to do it. But last time we played Mesa down there earlier this season, we were 1-1 at halftime, and their goal was just a mistake from us, kind of a sloppy error. And if we're up 1-0 at halftime, potentially a different game. So we're going in with a ton of confidence to that game. We have Westminster on Sunday, and when we played Westminster in Salt Lake, that was really our worst game of the year. We lost 3-1, all on shooting ourselves in the foot. And that's a big difference between good teams and mediocre teams, or great teams and good teams. Is the great teams don't make mistakes. And this past weekend, Regis didn't make any mistakes. Even Tony, their coach, came up to me after the game and said, I can't do his North Irish accent, but he said that was their best game of the year. They were really, really sharp, and said your boys played well. And Todd Pageant and Mesa said the same thing to us after our game. And these guys, not necessarily the nicest guys, they wouldn't just say that for no reason. They really meant it, and that meant a lot to me, and I hope it meant a lot to our players, because they have been playing well, they have been earning respect amongst the conference, even if we aren't getting results against those top teams. One player I want to mention is Lars Scow. I think I've talked about him before. He's a true senior for us. He's going to graduate in 4 years, which is rare for a student here, never mind an athlete. And in my mind, he might be the best player in program history. And he won't be in the stat sheet too much because he's a center back and an outside back defending quite a bit, but absolutely just fantastic player. And he had some concerns as to whether or not he was going to return this year. And, you know, because of that, I wasn't sure how invested he would be when he decided to return. And he has just been outstanding. And a guy in the past who kind of goes with the flow, who's now holding standards, expecting more of his teammates. And when your good players do well and everything, like, it makes your job easier. And he's been really, really good for us, and he's getting good grades. So all around, Lars has been a standout for us all year. And you know, as a first-year head coach, having a senior return and adjust to that, it's been phenomenal. Do any of you have any questions for me?
Say, Andrew, you talked about the top teams in the RMAC. What common thread do you see in those top teams that you'd like to see our team do that makes them so successful?
Experienced coaching. They have incredible composure on the ball. You see their center mids and their outside mids, like, we can be defending them, we'll have someone on their back and it's like, oh man, we're going to get it from them, and they'll have a little shoulder drop, a little clever turn, and they'll get around us. And it's like, no matter what teams toss at some of these guys, they just don't sweat it at all. Right? One of their players could have the ball 5 yards from their own goal and be confident enough to find a way out, and not just like a clearance out of bounds or touching it out for a corner. They're finding ways to actually connect forward. And composure is something in soccer that's huge. You're always going to have a defender running at you, whether it's from 2 yards away or 20 yards away. Someone's always going to be closing out on you and putting pressure on you. You see, those teams aren't worried about the pressure at all. They know, and that's something we've been preaching to our guys a lot. If you have the ball, like, you should be confident. Like, I'm the one who's going to make a play. I think in the past for us, it's been the fear, oh, how long before I make a mistake? And we get a lot of those guys who are willing to just pass the ball short 5 yards because, like, oh, I can complete it. I can almost pass on the risk of losing the ball. Whereas those teams don't have that fear. They're very, very confident on an individual level. Oh, I have the ball. I'm going to find that through pass. I'm going to find a shot. And so we've been preaching that mentality to our guys. If you make a bad pass, like, that's not going to be something, oh, you're yanked. You know, two bad passes, we're not just pulling you out. Right? We have a rotation that we really try and stick to. Success for us comes through execution. And if guys aren't executing what we work on all week, that would be more an issue of, all right, that's where we need to bring you out and address what we're doing wrong. But we've been trying to create a culture where there's confidence on the ball. Every time you're on the ball, you can make a play, you can do something positive for us. That's a huge difference. You look at the center mids at Metro and Regis, those guys, they'll take 15, 20 touches through the midfield, dribbling, like, weaving around. Our guys, we play very simple 2 or 3 touch, which it's good to move the ball quickly, but I've given our guys the green light, make a play. If you try and make a play in a positive way, you know, I'm excited by that. You know, the other players are excited by that. We want to see creativity, so I think that's what I've seen as the difference. All right, thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. So Friday at 1 o'clock and Sunday at 11 a.m. Men's soccer games at home. Hey, I don't know if you guys realize this, but if you notice, like when Coach Johnson was up here, got the full beard going, and Andrew's growing his out. You've probably seen Joel, he's got his beard going, and we're going to see Coach here in a second with his. You know, I'm kind of feeling bad. This is not good, right? Jenni, no, I wasn't going to mention your beard, okay? But that's okay. But you know what? I was feeling bad about it, and Tom Rudebush said, hey, Kevin, I've been growing mine out for 40 years. And you just can't cover up faces like this. So Tom tried to give me some reassurance. So Tom, I appreciate it, man.
No.
Very good. Coach Tinker, football.
Thanks for everybody coming out. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah.
Good. I'd like to thank our defensive coordinator, Coach Breitzman, for being here today. I'd also like to thank him for shutting New Mexico Highlands out in the second half and holding them to just 12 first downs on the game. And also thank him for the luncheons he comes to when we don't win, which goes a long ways because everybody needs a wingman. So he's been there through thick and thin with this football program from the beginning of his time here. And I need him and I appreciate him very much. Very exciting weekend for us. Shoot, you always want to win a home game. We thought we had a chance to play well. I thought we did play very well. You know, we played really well at home. We like playing at home. Dunham Field's our favorite place. It's always 75 and sunny at Dunham Field. And we're going to need that again this week. And we're going to be challenged certainly by a very talented Colorado Mines team, a team that I think we all know if we can read press releases that we haven't had any success on the field against yet. It's only been 100 years or so. So we got to do a great job this week getting our guys ready to go. And the positive, I was asked about sort of, you know, how do you be optimistic in the face of this opponent? And I say, you know, most of our kids don't know what they had for breakfast, let alone what happened in the Colorado Mines game in 1997, right? So they don't think about that stuff. They're just getting ready to play a football game, and they can't wait for the opportunity to compete in front of their hometown fans and have another great RMAC football game on Saturday. I know Brad has some game review, if you would, from our game this past weekend against New Mexico Highlands. It was a gorgeous afternoon for football. This is a big play for us right here. Jake's thrown it to Adinsky Lormius, who's a transfer receiver, number 9, from Feather River Junior College. We became friends with Adinsky because he's good friends and played junior college ball with Dorian Kohler. And we needed Adinsky to start stepping up with the loss of Isaiah Manley, and he's doing just that. Here's the big INT, Tristan Brown, number 5, our Rocket Dog of the Week. He gets this thing all the way to the house. We were so excited for Tristan. I just about lost my mind because we had a penalty on the play that called the touchdown back. But what an awesome effort. Here's the fake field goal. Cody O'Neill put this one in. We really wanted to make sure that we got it run because we knew we had a really good picture. Unfortunately, slipped, fall, and hurt ourselves almost on the way down there instead of scoring the touchdown, but it was a big-time play for us. Here's big Carson Hunt, redshirt freshman out of Colorado. Carson, number 84. He's an exciting young player. He got a touchdown in the Adams State game. He got a touchdown here. He's a redshirt freshman. He's going to be a really good player. He's 6 feet 4 inches tall. He grows a little bit. He got great long hair. I mean, just all these things about I don't know. There's just something about the way 84 plays that I think we all really like. And a true testament to our development program, to Coach Talkin, our strength program. A player like Carson, who really wasn't ready to play varsity football season ago, not even close. And now is a starter and a weapon on the field for us, and great development by Carson. Our offensive service player of the week is Brett Rankin, a sophomore out of Puyallup, Washington. He's a mining engineer. He had a really strong week. He's actually had such a good week on service that he'll play a little bit in our special teams units this week because of the work he's doing off the field. You're going to notice these are some handsome young men with great hair coming up. Keep it rolling. Okay, look at that smile from TJ Schaefer, our defensive service player of the week from O'Gorman High School in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, mechanical engineer, great high school wrestler as well. We love the way TJ plays. If you keep going on, our SWAT, our special teams player of the week is Jeremy Gonzalez, true freshman out of Arvada, Colorado. He's a mechanical engineer. He's not the tallest guy on our team, all right? He's slightly larger than this podium, and he runs down on kickoff with bad intentions. I tell you what, he just does such an outstanding job, throws all 147 pounds of his manhood around, and makes plays, and he had a huge tackle on kickoff for us on Saturday. Our offensive player of the week, Jacob Sullivan, our quarterback. Jake played obviously very well. You know, sometimes there's a pretty high standard of performance for Jake because he's had such a great career. And, you know, sometimes we get upset and then you look up and he throws for 300 yards and rushes for 100. And you're like, yeah, it's a pretty good day for 3/4 of football. He's had a great season and played great on Saturday. And we did turn the football over. Our dog of the week, Tristan Brown. You saw his interception. Tristan has really stepped up. He's really started the year with a tough injury. He's worked through it and ended up having he's really had his two of his better games in the last 3 weeks. Our rookie player of the week is wide receiver Jermaine Williams, a junior receiver out of Stockton, California. Jermaine had the long catch and run touchdown, and it was his first touchdown as a hard rocker. Again, as we've kind of cycled through some players with the injury bug and what have you, we really need extra playmakers, and Jermaine has really stepped into that role, and he had so much confidence after that one play, and it was good to see him start to feel better about himself. And you make a play like that, they walk different, they kind of, their chin's a little bit higher, and then they're taking coaching a little bit more, and they want to do it again maybe sometime. So excited to see Jermaine do that. And then our selfless player of the week, Dorian Cohort, had just a great week of practice last week, came in and ran the ball exceptionally hard. Dorian had a tough couple of weeks. He had fumbles in consecutive games the previous 2 weeks, and he went back to work, and he had a great week of practice and a great game. And then our pickaxe player of the week is our center, Robert Schrock. I said, that's him in a good mood. He's a metallurgical engineer in Mesa, Arizona, and that's him on a full stomach. Okay, homework's done, everything's going well, all right, and the sun is shining. You should see him at 6 a.m. when it's 28 degrees this morning, and he's getting ready to line up for a Tuesday practice. The guy just plays with the toughness that you want in your offensive line room. So those are our players of the week from the game against New Mexico Highlands. I'm going to go to the main event here. Our next speaker is the heart and soul of our football team. If you had 12 yellow pads of paper and 24 sharpened number 2 pencils, I could fill them up with things to say about Blake Stone. That's how much I think of this young man as a football player and as a person. He is a true leader of our football program. You are going to love getting the chance to interact with Blake Stone. So Blake, come on up.
I guess I'll just reintroduce myself. My name is Blake Stone. I'm from Rapid City. I'm a linebacker on the Hardrocker football team. I'm in my senior year of civil engineering. Upon graduation, I'm kind of interested in pursuing a master's degree, but I'm also interested in entering the workforce. So I think as I get closer towards graduation, I'll kind of decide on what I want to do between those two, but I'm really excited either way what I want to do. I kind of decided to go to Mines because I'm from Rapid City and I knew about the school. I knew the prestige of this engineering school. My aunt went here and my family is from here, so being close to my family was a really important thing. So that was all just factors that kind of led into why I chose Mines. During my visit, I saw the game day visits, and I also got to visit through the civil engineering department. And I think after those visits, I was kind of sold that this was where I wanted to go. I think upon a couple games and a couple classes, I kind of learned that I loved being here. I think some of the things that Coach Tinker emphasizes, such as our core values like trust, accountability, and hard work, are some things that I use in football, but I also use in everyday life. So those are things that kind of really led me to love this program. I've met some of my best friends throughout this program. And it's always been a positive outlook for me. I think through the highs and lows, I've always looked forward to going to football practice. I've always looked forward to going to meetings, and just being with the guys around me. I just enjoy being a part of this football team. And this school has done a lot for me. This football team has done a lot for me. So I can't really say how thankful I am and how much it's done for me. And I think just being part of this program has not only helped me become a better athlete, but it's also helped me become a better student and a better man. So, any questions?
Well, just remember that in 20 years when I come visit you.
Yeah. I'll definitely be coming back for alumni games, and this program is pretty close to me, so it's always going to be something that I'll look forward to seeing BH games, and I'll always look forward to coming back here for sure.
What's your favorite highlight of your football career?
I don't know. That's a tough one. There's a lot of ones. I think the BH victories are always pretty significant, but I think just every part of this senior year has been something that I've been looking forward to. I think the losses have been hard this year, but I think it kind of shows the character of our football team, how we're able to recover from a hard loss like that. So I think my favorite part has just been, being with this team. being able to experience this senior year. It's been very special.
What do we gotta do to win Saturday?
I don't know. I'm probably going to leave that up to Coach Teeker. I just kind of follow what they do. I mean, those guys put in a lot of hard work, so they make it easy for us. All we really have to do is just follow the game plan. I think just getting extra film time is important, and I think after last week we kind of reevaluated ourselves after giving up a lot of points. We kind of had to look ourselves in the mirror and say, how do we want the rest of this season to go? And I think our leaders really stepped forward and made a change. And I think the way we practiced was a direct result of how we played in the game. So I think just practicing hard throughout the week and focusing on creating turnovers and stopping the run. I think those are our keys to victory.
Questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, I hope you guys realize what a special place this is, and it's evidence through people like you, so good job, man. Hey, I just want to say thank you as we wrap up to Paul Mosey and Pancheros for providing the food today. Certainly want to say thank you to Sandy Carlson, to Brad Bloom, to Ken Wood for helping us put on this whole event. We appreciate that. And mostly we appreciate everybody in this room and everybody who's supporting the Hard Rockers. What you do for us and how you support us, not only by showing up to games, but getting out there talking good in the community, certainly by supporting us financially, is very important and very much appreciated. You can always go to hardrockclub.org and donate more, right? Okay, good. Fantastic. And the next coaches luncheon will be next week at Pizza Ranch South at 11:30, so we'll see you next week at Pizza Ranch. Everybody, thank you for being here today.